Brand new Lambda consensus daily. Let me just go search for the link. All right, it's already shared in Telegram, so we can start with the updates. Martin, do you want to start?
Sure. So for me, yesterday I've been doing a lot of reading regarding like the gas issue and the supermajority and all that. There were some, interesting reads related to that. Also, I still haven't done. I'm about to do the video, but I have the gas running for several minutes now, and it hasn't synced yet. So, but I will have the video very soon. And also I've been thinking a little bit of, there were some architecture discussions and also working on a proof of concept to store the execution status of blocks. That's it for me.
That's awesome. That's a lot of updates. Thank you. The next one is Mete.
Hello everyone. Yesterday I fixed the issues about the misinterpretation of the hashes, but I'm not really sure if it's right. So I've asked Mega to sync after the daily, and I've been reading the engine API part for the optimistic execution. I'm not really sure how we can do that because the status are valid, invalid, sync, and accepted, and invalid block hash mostly. So I'm working on that. I'm trying to find a solution for that.
All right. Yeah, that's perfect. It's perfect that you're doing your own research. Let us know if at any point you get stuck and you need some help on that. I think that aside from Mega, Martin is also very acquainted with execution stuff as he's been doing all of the integration. So he also may be able to respond some questions regarding, at least regarding execution. So yeah, thanks for the updates. The next one is God's Power.
Good day, everyone. Yesterday I finished cleaning up the PR on optimization of the memorization of chunks. So all the tests are passing, and somebody can give it a look. And also I created more issues around memorization. So it turns out that apart from, because you asked yesterday, what are the remaining issues surrounding memorization, but so I checked, and we still have to do memorization of bit list and bit vectors. So I created an issue for those. And I also assigned myself to memorization of containers, and I've started working on that, and that's what I'll be working on today. So yeah, while I also wait for, because the issue around um, enabling the spec tests, the other spec tests, is kind of, if that's done, then I would be sure that I don't need to bother about some other things around containers. But yeah, I'm just working on containers while waiting for that. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, the Fernando's PR that includes all of the schemas is already merged as of yesterday. So if that was a blocker, it shouldn't be anymore. Now
No,
we should
no,
be. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
sorry, the one around spec test, not this one around schema.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay. If there's any kind of, I'm not sure if there's any blockers, but if there's blockers, let's discuss them in the Telegram chat.
Okay.
Sorry, I might have
Yeah, yeah,
misunderstood.
yeah. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, like, for me to do memorization of containers, encoding of containers has to be working, but the PR, the issue is around enabling more spec tests, because the spec test is not fully checking the containers. So if it's
All
fully
right.
checking the containers, then I'm sure that the containers, localization of containers works properly.
Okay, no, yeah, that's perfect. So so what you mean is that on the one hand we already have like working containers, quote unquote, but we're not sure if they actually work because we don't have the spec test working with all of them. So you'd like to
Yes.
work on like container merkleization after we are fully sure that the encoding works, because if not, like you'll have all sorts of bugs that you wouldn't be able to diagnose because they're not in merkleization, right? They are in the encoding part. That's
Yes.
fair. Yeah. Um, what do you think about starting with the merkleization of bitlist and vectors, if not? Because those are, I think that those are
Yeah.
working pretty well, but it may be like
Yeah.
simpler on the container ones. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sure.
Awesome. Thank you for the updates and thanks for the clarification. The next one is Thomas.
Yesterday, I worked on some small PRs. I added some logs in debug that log the amount of time it takes to process a block or different parts. The block, how when processing a block, when processing slot, when processing an epoch, things like that. Then I also added a test for replaying a block range. It's not really a test; it's just to manually check a range. It needs data from the DB, so you can just like let your client sync for a while and then use this test for replaying some given block range where you notice some performance issues or errors, whatever. Um, and I also added the refactor we talked with Thomas about in the store. I also added I also moved the final the justified checkpoints data from the fork choice to the beacon chain to add to the cached fork choice data we had. And with that, I removed most of the calls from the beacon, well, all of the calls from the beacon API to the fork choice, which is almost a blocking call. Um, yeah, that's almost all. I also added. Was also working on adding weights to the simple tree I added before. With that, we should be able to add to simplify the. Split take attestations from the store into another Shen server and just use this tree to store the important information about for choice. And that's what I'm gonna be doing today, unless we have other more important issues.
Sounds great. Thank you for that. No, yeah, I think that what you're tackling is one of the most important things. So feel free to just continue with that. Thank you. The next one is Fernando.
Yes. For my part, I have been trying to enable all the spec tests for the SSE generic spec test. All the valid cases are passing, but the invalid not, because they're necessary to add more conditions, more words in order to control for those kind of excessive bytes and something that we don't have to, we should not decode those malformed containers, especially containers. So yeah, I am working with that, adding all those controls and words in that part.
Okay, that's cool. Thanks for working on that. It's one of those not so gratifying tasks like making spec tests work, but it's important. That will also unblock God's power in the next iteration. So thanks for working on that. As for me, I've been mostly reviewing PRs, doing some research on inactivity leaks, and also distributed algorithms in general. I need to catch up with some research outside of the project, but I'll be going back to reviewing a lot of PRs today because I know that there's at least 3 or 4 that are important. And yeah, afterwards I'll get back to the concurrency issues. But I think that given what Tomas is doing, the concurrency thing is becoming a bit less important than a couple of weeks ago. But I'll still try to address it and see if we all can match what we're working on. Yeah, that's the updates for me. Do we have any final comments or questions?
Yeah, so I just checked, and it will be better for me to work on containers because the bit list and bit vector, I think that's what Fernando is working on. So I'll probably just work on containers because it's not enabled for both bit list and bit vector, but it is okay. Let me just send it because yeah. So I'll just work on containers instead of bit list and bit vector.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever you feel the less unblocked on, both are fine for me. So if you want to go with containers, be my guest. That's perfect. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the notice. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Do we have any other comments? All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. We can finish daily for today. Thank you all for joining. See you all tomorrow.